Hey guys, this is Sean McGarry coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the music salon where great things happen. Hope everyone's doing awesome out there. Got a fun little lesson today, just how to play a blues by yourself. This is a fun thing if you just pick up a guitar, you know, in a store or by yourself or practice, whatever, man, in a bar, just to be able to play a little 12-bar blues by yourself with a couple easy concepts and licks. So this is pretty easy if you know the basics, how 12-bar blues works. So if you know that much, let's get on into it here. And as always, please check out my Patreon page. I have tabs for all these lessons. You can find links below for that kind of stuff. Let's get into it. So I'm in a key of E, which is a pretty common key when you're doing this kind of thing. It's easiest because you can have access to your open strings, your both E strings. Now the first thing is just the chords. Okay, so you're gonna probably want to play some 7 chords over this, different voicings, which I'll go over that. So let me just, all of that today. Let me just kind of go over the idea behind this. Okay, so it's all about the rhythm, right? I'm tapping my foot and I'm just doing a low E string. You know, and you can be, there's different variations of this, so you can kind of interpret this any way you want, but I'm going. Okay, and the idea is to do a little fill in between these rhythm hits, so like a boom, bump, rhythm fill, boom, bump, rhythm fill. And so the first one I did here was. Now let's talk about this. Okay, so hit pause on that idea and let's talk about what's going on here so you can understand this stuff and play it by yourself. So it's just all of the stuff is from the blues or minor pentatonic from this position. So if I go, right? But you're probably saying, Sean, well, you just showed me that scale and that's not the note you played. Correct. So one more time, here's the blues scale. What we're going to do today is add the major third in there, okay, which is this note. So the G sharp is not in that minor pentatonic, but we want to add that in and out of it to kind of intertwine to give us that nice bluesy sound. Now this is super easy because look, if I play this E7 or even just an E chord, look, when you play your E chord, there's your major third. So the major third is always inside that chord somewhere, and you got 3 guesses to figure it out. So, but in this case, it's right there. So this is kind of a common thing up here in this blues thing, like a. So what we're doing here is we're hammering on the open G string to that major third, and then hitting the E string to kind of ring out. Really cool blues sound. So all together, I'm going. Now, if you just get that, that's a good start because then we can start adding all kinds of stuff in. But again, in this kind of music, blues, there's usually an A and B line. So the B line's going to be a little bit different. Now, there's a million variations we can do. I kept this simple and straight just so you guys can get rolling on this, but I'm going. Then this little slide out of the pentatonic here, landing on the D note, or you could go back to the E. So, you know, I'll vary that up. So here's the second line. Could hit as a double stop. So I'll show you some more little licks and tricks, but let's just stick to that quick little intro I did. So here's the line in the first chord. Okay, that's the first 4 measures. Then we go to the 4 chord, which is called A or A7. Now, here's a nice voicing I'm playing for now. And it's just an A major. Some guys and girls will play it like this. There's really no right or wrong. I tend to do this or this, sometimes even this. You got to figure out what's best for you, but I'm going. That same rhythm, check it out. And I'm always trying to hit that, the root note. In this case, it's the open A string. Riff. Riff. So in this, I was doing. Now, why was I doing this? Because in that A7, you can already see that's called the flat 7. That's the altered note in the scale. That's what makes it kind of bluesy. And that's a movable shape, by the way. Here's my E7. Here's my D7. There's my A7. But it's a cool idea to kind of highlight that because it gives it that. It's called the mixolydian or the blue, you know, that flat set, or yeah, the flat 7. That sound, and it's just, I'm just outlining with an easy riff. So again, so I'm sliding up the pentatonic scale and landing on that G. It's already in the scale anyway, right? So here's your scale. All the notes of this, including the next chord, the B, are in that pentatonic, so you just got to find these notes. So here's what we got so far. Let's back up. We're going to go. Little variation there, look. There's so much mileage you can get out with just a couple of notes, right? Of just a few little ideas. So here, so you're just trying to find these little call and responses. So one more time, after I do that A the first time, you could repeat it. Oh, sorry. Or a second time, back to 1. That's the same. We can change it, but that's the same for now. Now we're going to go to the 4 chord. I could play that kind of stuff, or what I did up here is I just kept it kind of basic, and now I played a bar chord up here. And the reason I did it up here, so I could play these little 6. So I went. So that's a great little lick. Now, if you look inside your B7 chord, by the way, it's a bar chord up here at the 7th fret. The information is already in this chord. Look at this. B major, okay. B7 really doesn't matter, but I'll just keep the, I'll take the pinky off and do the 7th chord. Now look, that G string note and that E note is what's called your 6th, your major 6. So if you do that, so I went, slid up to that note. Then I did the same thing on A. I went. So all together. So all together, this little last section here, B7 to the 6. Now notice too, when you're playing this stuff, particularly by yourself, you want to be kind of percussive with that. Give it, you know, so I'm doing like a. Really kind of making that kind of snap a little bit, right? And again, any of these little licks will do. I'm just going down the scale. So here's a cool little lick, like when you're playing that. And I talk about this all the time whenever I get into this pentatonic stuff. So if I'm playing pentatonic anywhere in the neck, I'll stay here for a second, but like, well, right here, this is the minor 3rd. And I always talk about this, it's like just barely nudging that 3rd. And that makes all the difference in the world. Once you start doing that nudging of the minor 3rd, and just find it, you'll always do that. So it just gives a little bit of a bluesy sound. So again, minor 3rd. Look at that. Tweak it, or bend it, tweak it. Kind of snap that off there. And I also went down and landed on that minor 3rd that'll lead me right back to this, and of course I could go back to lots of different ways you can phrase around with this. So this is a real simple, basic idea that you guys can play by yourself. And there's a million variations of this. Like I said, when I'm playing this, million directions. So another cool idea is to alternate between the minor third and the major third. So you got this kind of thing, you know. That's all minor. Check it out. To major. And you know, you can do the same over every chord, right? Major third. Now I could play the 4 chord up here. So you just got to get in here and start playing the stuff. You know, there's a million examples we could talk about, but you can find these pretty easily on your own. And it's just a 12-bar blues. I mean, it doesn't get much more basic. And this is kind of the basics. So you all should know this stuff and practice it. So I hope this helps you out a little bit. If you have any questions or concerns or issues, leave in the comments. Maybe not concerns, but if you have any questions. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. It means the world to me. Hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.